Hi, my name's Laura Berg, president of My Smart Hands, and today I have with me Alana McGinn, founder of Good Night Sleep Site and Canadian rep of International Association of Child Sleep Consultants. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me, Laura.
So today we're talking about sleep, which is a very important thing for parents, new parents. Even me, when I had my second child, he was a whole new ball of wax. I didn't know
Yes,
what to do with this one.
absolutely. There's no child that's the same. I'm a mom of I have three kids, two of them being twins, and even with my twins, I mean, all three are completely different.
Wow, I know it's crazy, and I find that I was really consumed with sleep issues and not knowing what to do and not getting enough sleep myself, and
Right.
it's like they don't come with manuals.
They don't. They
So
don't. And we wish they did, especially in regards to sleeping, but unfortunately they do not.
I know. And so you're a sleep consultant. What exactly is a sleep consultant?
Right. That's a great question. So really what I do is I work with the parents. So parents come to me when they're struggling with whatever sleep issue there are. I work with babies from 4 months old up to 6 years old. So, the issues can be different. And I really work with them in devising a plan. So we customize a plan for their parenting philosophy, for the personality and the temperament of the child. And then I support them throughout that plan. So my goal is not just to have the child sleeping through the night or, extending those naps or, having that toddler stay in their bed. But I really want to focus on educating the parent on why we're taking the steps that we're taking. So educating them on what the sleep needs are of their child and why we're implementing the steps that we are.
Right, right. Okay, so tell me, what are one or two points about sleep that are often overlooked by parents?
Great question. So I think probably the biggest misconception with sleep for a new parent is how much sleep a child needs. Parents, and I was there. This is how I got into what I was doing. When I had my first daughter, I had no idea the amount of sleep she actually needed. I'm keeping her up all day long thinking, oh, well, if I keep her up all day, she'll sleep better at night.
Right.
Where it's the opposite. So, parents need to understand that children need a lot more sleep than we do. They can't function on 6 to 8 hours like we can. So it's really important to encourage that sleep not only throughout the day, but also at night, once they're age appropriate, of course.
Right. So you find that the more they sleep at night?
Absolutely. Sleep equals sleep, for sure.
Yeah, I think I was worried about that too, about, making the naps shorter so that the night times would be longer.
And logically, that makes sense, right?
Right.
Logically thinking if we, shorten the naps or don't give naps or put them to bed really late, they'll sleep better at night, they'll sleep longer in the morning. Whereas with kids, it's biologically speaking. So biologically, they need a lot more sleep than we do.
Huh. Interesting. And so what are the top three common sleep issues you see parents struggling with?
The top three in regards to babies, I would say, would be, short naps. So why does my baby only sleep those 30 to 45 minutes? How do I lengthen out those naps throughout the day?
Mm-hmm.
The other one's probably early morning waking. So why is my child waking up so early in the morning? How can I push out that morning waking?
Right.
And then the main one would be sleeping through the night. So how do I get my child to sleep through the night, even if that still includes feeds? But just how do I consolidate those stretches throughout the night? How do I get my child to fall asleep on their own? So without me needing to go in and feed, to go in and rock, put in the pacifier, bounce on the ball. I've seen it all.
Yeah.
So just how do you get your child to fall asleep on their own?
Yeah, that was a big one for me because
that's the biggest, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I nursed my children and I would rock them and they'd fall asleep that way, and I just knew that it made it hard for me to go out. Made it hard.
Right.
My children both didn't take bottles.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't want them to. They just refused.
Right.
So that was really difficult for me. And I also found, you mentioned naps. Do you find that, because I remember my children doing the 2 naps and then they went down to the 1 nap. Is there a certain age that you find that happens, or would you recommend parents encourage that happening, or do you think that the 2 naps are a good way to go?
I always say hold on to those 2 naps as long as you can. So typically that age is about 15 to 18 months is when you transition from 2 naps to 1 nap. Some parents might do it, it could be as early as 12 months. It could be as late as 24 months. It really depends on how sleep sensitive the child is. But typically it's around 15 to 18 months. And I really do recommend parents again, sleep equals sleep. So the longer you can hold on to those 2 naps, provided, they're taking those naps, it's not affecting their night sleep, don't get rid of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Great. And so tell me, what are your 5 top tips to help babies sleep through the night?
Okay, so the first one would be just start with the basics. So we really want to make sure that their sleep environment is conducive to sleep. So we want to make sure the room is nice and dark. So if that means including, a blackout blind. Honestly, I get so many of my clients just to tape up garbage bags. It looks horrible, but it works really well. It's a cheap and effective way. Also make it quiet enough. So introduce something like a white noise machine, any kind of consistent sound.
Right.
It helps block out that surrounding sound. Parents with older kids, running around and making noise. They live on a busier street. It's a really good idea. Practice safe sleep as well. So with the younger babies, no bumpers, no blankets, no stuffed animals, no crib entertainment. Those aquariums. Those flashy lights. Really, it's just, that's just added stimulant for the child. So get rid of all of that stuff.
I made that mistake.
I know, it's a lot. Oh, so did I with my daughter. Had the aquarium. I'm like, oh yeah, she'll sleep. Yeah. No, wrong.
So sorry to interrupt you. I know we're still on the point 4, but back to point 1. It's completely dark. No nightlight.
You can include a nightlight. A lot of parents like it just if they want to go in and check. It's more for the parents so they can see what's going on. As long as it's a white light, if it's not like a blue, like those LED lights, those can really help kind of in releasing the melatonin. It can really kind of slow that down. So as long as it's nowhere between, anywhere between 4 watts and 7 watts, nothing brighter than that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more so during the day, nap time. We really kind of want to make it as dark as possible.
Okay, great. So
Yeah.
Number 4.
Yes, so the next step would be naps. We really want to focus on, as we were speaking about before, encouraging that sleep throughout the day. So that's getting them on an age-appropriate biological routine, one that works best with their natural internal sleep rhythms, and then really work on extending and consolidating those naps. Naps are the biggest struggle. I always tell parents if I had a quick fix for naps, I would tell them. I don't. It really just takes mom and dad being consistent on, where they're putting them down. So working on a consistent sleep environment, wherever that may be, when they're putting them down, and then how they're handling those 30 to 45-minute wakings. That's actually a natural sleep cycle for a child. So it's not a coincidence that, your child wakes up every 30 to 45 minutes. They're able to get into that next cycle, but it takes time for them to learn to do that. And that's where the struggle comes in.
Great. And so you say to consistent naps, like same area, which makes it hard, right?
It's hard. And this is with the older baby. So, 4 months and younger, you can't do any wrong. Okay, and even older, you can't do any wrong. But, this is why, at around 4 months is when those internal rhythms really start developing. So that's when you can start getting them on more of a consistent schedule throughout the day in terms of wake times, nap times, and bedtime as well.
That's great. That's great. And now you have a great website, the Good Night Sleep site, that has lots of this information on it.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I also noticed that your Facebook page, what is it, every Sunday night you talk sleep?
I do, yeah, every Sunday night. I've been doing it for almost 2 years now, and I love it. It's between 8 and 9 at night, and on my wall, I'll open up a thread, and just parents can come on and ask me questions, and I can jump on and answer, so I'm on there at the same time with them. I'm really interactive on my Facebook page. I love talking to parents. I know how hard it is. Again, I'm a mom of 3. I always say my kids didn't come out of me good sleepers. I had to work at it as well, and I know how hard it is, and it can be a very lonely feeling. So I like to really open up my page to all parents to know that, you're not alone. The struggle that you're having, I always tell my parents, it's nothing I haven't heard before, and I say that to make them feel better because it's nothing I haven't heard before. So many parents struggle with it.
No, it's true. And that's what I find that is great for parents is to actually know that you're not alone. Like the struggles that you're going through, other people are also going through it. And even just sitting and watching your Facebook page and seeing the comments and seeing your responses can can help. So
Oh, completely.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link to your Facebook page in the description of the video.
Okay,
so
fantastic.
my viewers can actually go and join. I highly recommend joining your Facebook page, and the support is amazing. I love it. I think it's great.
Well, and I have great guests on, like you. My parents loved having you on, so we will do that again. Yeah, it's fun. It's just fun. I like it.
It's great, and then you can connect with people. It's lovely.
Absolutely.
That's what I love when I interact with my community, and I answer questions. You know, people email me, and I'm the one that answers the questions. That's something that I've sort of held on as my business has grown. I've had to give up things, but I've kept that personal connection with people who are asking me questions. I want to be the one to answer it.
That's right.
So, well, this is wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing this information with us.
No problem.
And you know what? I would love to have you back on to talk about toddler sleep, because I'm sure a lot of people are struggling with that. I remember I have a girlfriend whose son, well, he's almost 4, and she's still struggling with those early morning wake-ups. And
yeah, it can be tough. I always say with toddlers, it's the same fundamental. The fundamentals are the same, but you have to take a different approach sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, well, I will get you back on to talk about that.
Yeah, good. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye.